The moment a woman rejects you, but continues to linger in your life, liking your posts, replying to your stories, or sending those late-night "hey stranger" texts, it creates a dangerous illusion. She says she's not ready for anything serious, claims you're just friends, or hits you with the classic, "I don't feel that way about you." But then her actions tell a different story. She keeps the door cracked open just enough to keep you guessing, and that's where the trap begins. This isn't confusion, it's a test. Women who genuinely want you don't leave you in limbo. They don't play games with your emotions or keep you on standby while they explore other options. If she wanted you, you'd know. The mixed signals aren't a sign of her indecision. They're a sign of your position in her life. You're not the priority, you're the backup plan. She enjoys the comfort of your attention without the responsibility of commitment. And the longer you entertain it, the more you erode your own self-respect. Most men fall into the trap of interpreting any attention as interest. They tell themselves asterisk if she's still reaching out. There must be something there. Asterisk. But women don't operate on logic. They operate on emotion. She might not want you, but she loves feeling wanted. Your confusion is proof that her strategy is working. She gets the validation of knowing you're still hooked. While you're left dissecting every text, every emoji, every vague social media interaction, searching for hidden meaning that doesn't exist. The brutal truth. She's not torn between yes and no, she's decided. She just doesn't want to lose the perks of your emotional labor. Maybe she likes the ego boost, the safety net, the convenience of having someone who will always respond when she's bored. But none of that means she sees a future with you. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can stop wasting energy on a lost cause. The illusion of mixed signals is just that, an illusion. Real interest is clear, real attraction is direct. Anything less is just noise. And the man who refuses to play along is the one who wins in the end. The moment she rejects you but keeps you around, a subtle power dynamic takes shape, one where she holds all the control while you cling to false hope. This isn't about love or even genuine connection. It's about maintaining influence over your emotions while avoiding accountability. She wants the benefits of your attention, the compliments, the emotional support, the ego strokes without any obligation to reciprocate. You become an emotional safety net, there to catch her when she's bored, lonely, ill, or needs validation after another man lets her down. Women like this are experts at emotional alchemy. They know how to turn your desire into their advantage. They'll send just enough warmth to keep you invested. A flirty comment here, a nostalgic text there, but never enough to actually commit. It's a game of emotional hot and cold, designed to keep you off balance. And the more you tolerate it, the more she'll push the boundaries. She might even act jealous if she sees you moving on, not because she wants you back, but because she can't stand the thought of losing her grip on you. This control game thrives on one thing: your willingness to accept scraps. Every time you respond to her breadcrumbs, you reinforce the idea that she can have you on her terms. She learns that no matter how little she gives, you'll still stick around, hoping for more.
Ow.
And that's when respect erodes. A woman who truly values you wouldn't keep you in this purgatory. She'd either choose you fully or let you go completely. The fact that she doesn't speaks volumes. The only way to break free is to recognize the game for what it is. It is not confused, she's calculated. The moment you stop playing along, you reclaim your power. Detach completely. No explanations, no dramatic exits, just silence. When she realizes she can no longer manipulate your emotions, one of two things will happen. She'll either step up with real intention, or she'll disappear. Either way, you win. Because the man who refuses to be controlled is the man who commands respect. And that's a position of true strength. The moment you realize she's playing games, the only winning move is complete detachment, not the fake kind where you secretly hope she notices your absence, but the real kind where you genuinely stop caring. This isn't about punishing her. It's about reclaiming your peace. When she says she doesn't want a relationship but keeps texting you, believe her words, not her actions. Women like this rely on your hope overriding your logic. They know most men will cling to any shred of attention, mistaking breadcrumbs for a meal. True detachment means removing her access to your emotional energy entirely. Delete her number. Mute her social media. Stop analyzing why she viewed your story or what that late-night high really meant. These aren't signals. They're distractions from women who want the benefits of your attention without the responsibility of reciprocation. The more you engage, the more you teach her this behavior works. But when you disappear without explanation, you disrupt the entire dynamic. Suddenly, she's the one wondering why her usual tactics aren't working. This isn't about playing hard to get, it's about being impossible to manipulate. The man who walks away from mixed signals communicates more through silence than he ever could with words. He demonstrates he won't participate in emotional limbo. Either she meets his standards of clear, consistent interest, or she gets nothing. At all, there's power in this simplicity. No arguments, no confrontations, just quiet. Unshakable standards. Detachment creates space for something crucial: objectivity. When you're no longer emotionally invested, you start seeing the situation for what it really is. The late-night texts weren't about misconnections. They were about boredom. The flirty comments weren't hints. They were ego boosts. The jealousy wasn't affection. It was possessiveness. This clarity is liberating. You stop romanticizing potential and start recognizing reality. And that's when you become truly dangerous. Not to her, but to the games themselves. Because a man who sees clearly can't be played. The moment you stop accepting confusion as normal, everything changes. Women who genuinely want you don't leave you guessing. They show up with clarity and consistency. Mixed signals aren't mysterious or romantic. They're a flashing warning. Sign of emotional unavailability. When she says one thing, but does another. When she pulls you close, then pushes you away. That's not chemistry, it's control. The power comes when you finally recognize these patterns for what they are. Evidence of someone who wants to enjoy your attention without giving anything real in return. A woman who values you will make her intentions obvious. She won't leave. You analyzing texts or wondering where you stand? If she's interested, you'll know. If she's not, you'll know. Anything in between is manipulation, whether she consciously realizes it or not. The moment you stop trying to decode her behavior and start trusting what's right in front of you, the fog lifts. You see that her hot and cold routine wasn't about you at all. It was about her own inability to be direct. Or worse, her desire to keep you as an option. This clarity is your greatest weapon.
How?
It allows you to walk away from situations that don't serve you without anger or resentment. You don't need to convince her to choose you. You simply recognize that someone who needs to be convinced isn't worth having. The right woman won't make you prove your worth. She already see it. Until then, redirect that energy toward yourself. Build a life so fulfilling that vague, half-hearted attention from anyone feels like an insult rather than a prize. The ultimate shift happens when you stop fearing the loss of someone who doesn't truly value you. That's when you become magnetic, not because you're playing games, but because you've set a standard. Either she meets it with genuine interest, or she doesn't get access to you at all. No negotiations, no exceptions. It's uncompromising. Self-respect is what separates the men who settle for breadcrumbs from those who only accept the full meal. And that's how you transform from the guy she plays with to the man she regrets losing. The journey doesn't end when you walk away. It begins. This was never about her, but about who you become when you refuse to settle for less than you deserve. The unshakable man isn't built through easy victories, but through the quiet moments when he chooses self-respect over temporary validation. Every time you resist the urge to check her social media, every time you delete that half-written text, every time you redirect your energy inward, you're forging something far more valuable than her attention. You're building an unbreakable sense of self. Women will come and go, but your core remains. The ones who played games become footnotes in your story, while the lessons they taught become part of your foundation.
Oh.
You stop seeing rejection as failure and start recognizing it as redirection away from people who would drain you. Toward those who will match your energy, the right woman won't need to be convinced or chased. She'll recognize your worth because you've demonstrated it through your actions, not through grand gestures. but through the quiet dignity of your boundaries. This is where true power lies, not in controlling outcomes, but in mastering your responses. The man who no longer fears loss is the man who can't be manipulated. He engages from abundance, not scarcity. He knows his value isn't determined by someone else's inability to see it. When he encounters mixed signals, he doesn't agonize, he walks. Not with bitterness, but with the calm assurance of someone who trusts that what's meant for him won't require mental gymnastics to obtain. Your peace becomes the priority. Your growth becomes the mission. And slowly, without force, you attract what you once chased, not because you changed the game, but because you stopped playing altogether. The women who once held power over you fade into irrelevance, while you step into the version of yourself that only exists on the other side of letting go. That's the ultimate victory, not making her regret losing you, but reaching a place where you no longer care if she does.